Hi, I'm Ray Michaelonis. I live and work here in the Lansing, Michigan area, and today I'm going to talk about the nuclear radiation fallout coming from Japan. As you see here in the symbol, the Japanese flag is covered over now by the symbol for nuclear radiation. And I've been studying this since March 11th, almost every day. It does not look pretty. You can stop this at any time to review the slides a little bit more in detail. My background is I graduated from Michigan State University. I have a degree in microbiology and public health. I have a Bachelor of Science degree. This slide here kind of summarizes what's going on in the ocean. It's the radioactive seawater impact map, and this was in October. It hasn't changed. It's actually gotten worse because there's more and more radiation leaking into the ocean all the time. If we go to this next slide here, you're going to see this. I grew up on a farm. I thought that was pretty funny, but you know, a lot of people think the Japanese people are in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, that's not entirely true. If you look at this slide here, this is a picture of the radiation fallout that's coming over to the United States. This happened to be April 24th. This kind of information is no longer easily accessible because the media does not want the people to know what's going on, although individuals are tracking the radiation with their own Geiger counters. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about where you get most of this information. I get it from enenews.com. The thing that's most important to remember is radiation is just like a burning ember out of the fireplace. The only difference is that when a radiation particle gets inside the body, it never goes out, where an ember will go out after it burns itself out. The next thing you're going to see here is a graphic demonstration of how an ember burns tissue. It can be equated with how a nuclear particle will burn tissue inside your body. So take a few seconds and look at that, and I'll be right back with you. Different. Now that you've seen how a burning ember can burn tissue, we use a napkin as an example. This is a picture of what just one hot particle has done in sheep lung tissue. It continues to burn, and you can see the scar tissue there that's developed because of that radioactive particle there that's in the tissue. Now we're going to get into a little bit more of the facts and figures here. Scientists are studying this now, have found that Fukushima has killed 14,000 more people in the United States, mostly babies, after the disaster than before. And you can track this for yourself, read about the science of it, look it up on your own. Another scientist, Dr. Helen Caldicott, is very good at explaining. She's a pediatrician. She's from Australia. She'll tell you what you won't hear in the mainstream news about what radiation does to living organisms. Another person is this Loren Murray. You can look her up on the internet and watch her YouTube videos. She will go to great lengths to explain, what we're up against as far as the radiation that we're getting from Japan. She's a geoscientist. She studies dust patterns and how they distribute around the world. Arnie Gunderson's a nuclear engineer. He's good to look up and get his reporting on what's happening over there in a current situation. And then also Christopher Busby is a nuclear expert too, and he's looking at this from the criminality perspective on how this information is being withheld from the Japanese citizens. And actually all citizens around the world are not really being brought up to speed on what's going on out there. Now, we didn't expect it. We didn't ask for it, obviously, but we need to deal with this radioactive fallout from Japan because it's going to affect us for several generations. And one area of good reference material is to look at stem cells and adult stem cells. There's a book out there called The Stem Cell Theory of Renewal, which is for people that don't really have a good science background but want to know a little bit about stem cells. It's available on Amazon. And then for those that want a little bit more scientific treatment, Cracking the Stem Cell Code, both are written by Christian Drapeau. He's a chief science officer for a company called StemTech. And As far as full disclosure, I have been a distributor for this company for over 5 years. Phenomenal products, algae-based, and algae were used in Chernobyl 25 years ago to detoxify the children. This algae in particular has the ability to help release more stem cells to repair damage, like what you saw there in that sheep lung tissue. Another product that you might want to get for yourself is zeolite. I did some research on this. Zeolite was used in Chernobyl. They used over 500,000 tons of it to detoxify the soil. It was also put into biscuits and cookies to help detoxify the children from heavy metals. And then if you just want to read about it without going to the website, here's a summary of what zeolite does. It's a mineral that has a honeycomb structure. It pulls heavy metals, toxins, pesticides, all kinds of nasty stuff out of your body and puts it down the toilet where it should go. Finally, iodine is important to our body. It helps with the thyroid. Nuclear reactions release radioactive iodine, and if we're short on iodine, our body will pick it up from the atmosphere. It gets rained down and snowed down out of the atmosphere. A way to test yourself for iodine deficiency is just to paint some tincture of iodine on your arm. If it goes away in less than 8 hours, like it did on my arm here, you want to supplement with kelp, bladderwhack, or just some more tincture of iodine on your skin. Your body will take up as much as it needs. Finally, after you've done everything you know how to do, sometimes people will resort to prayer as a last resort. This was written thousands of years ago, and it describes this current situation that we're facing right now. In line 5 there it says, the arrow that flies by day. Those are those nuclear particles. They act just like an arrow. And I never could figure out how 1,000 people could fall at your side or 10,000 at your right hand. But when immune systems and body systems start degrading because of nuclear radiation, it won't be long before you'll see a lot of people getting sick, cancers, all kinds of bad things. So I wish you well. If you would like to get some products, that's great. But do your own studying. I gave you some good references, and maybe we'll meet someday.